Hello there, my name is Tristan Bailey from a digital agency Holdingbay, and this is the last in this little series on how we manage OEE, overall equipment effectiveness, in our digital agency. So I brought it in to help my agency and improve the quality, both of consistency and understanding my own output, but also with the team and feedback there too. It allows us to focus on things as a program, and it brings back how we break tasks and items down to be done on projects into what we call a story point, a discrete piece of business value that has a story, has a reason for being, and delivering those to a customer or to a live web application is going to be good business value. Now, sometimes those might be delivering a sales call, they might be delivering a presentation, they might be other pieces. They aren't necessarily just committing a feature to publishing it to a website. There are different things that we classify, but they're discrete bits of business value. So internal meetings, internal planning and things aren't necessarily that, unless they align with our KPIs for the year that line up to our OKRs for achieving something, rather than just normal office work, which we want to manage and fit into the day, but it's not delivering that value, so we need to balance out how much we need of it. So what I wanted to do is just wrap this up into our overall numbers of what we're looking at, and start to look at stuff over time, and what we're tracking and trending for things going forwards. So here's an example with some data in for what we're looking at on here. So I thought if we just fill some pieces in, now the form it automatically picks up what day of the week is, and so we're on week 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We want to come down to here, so that's why we've got 100% and nothing in there. So if we just do a quick fill in of this this spreadsheet, just to give us some nice numbers to round out this piece. This just gives us some numbers to look at on here. So what we do over time, our target is to increase performance for an average of 6 to 8 weeks of consistently meeting our target in order for us to then raise the next target. Otherwise, every quarter we review what other programs could we do to increase this quality. So there's a lot of numbers going on here. These are just our weeks, a bit similar that we've looked at before, just sort of cut down and kept simple so that we're just looking at the data from those. And then the numbers at the top are just our relative on that. So what we've got, first of all, is the number that management we're looking at, sort of how we're doing on average, but obviously that has to run over that shorter period, because if you just kept this running forever, the average is going to flatten out. It's going to be very hard to move that average. You'll have to start doing way better. So basically we review this as sort of a quarterly running average to see where we're going with that and how we're aligning with the program. But the average is against the weekly tasks. What is the average for these? And what we can see is the efficiency is below our targets. So again, our targets were down here, 85%, 95%, 90%, getting over 72%. So we're beating that one well. We're availability, we're not finding unknown sort of reasons why downtime happens. But the efficiency, getting those tasks out, or being between projects, or working on sales where you haven't got as consistent feed of items to work on, is bringing down our total. So we're a good 12% off our target. So these little boxes are obviously lining up and saying we're up on our availability, we're up on our quality targets, but we're down overall. So 4 weeks in, or there's a couple more weeks, just 4 weeks on this demo. So about 8 weeks in, if we added those other weeks in and they were counting sort of similar, then we can see, is that just the period of business that we're having, or do we see that there's extra programs we need to do to improve our efficiency? So we just got the average from target just to give us a feedback as to what that number lines up as being. So up 10%, up 8%. Then from last week, so we've automatically picking from between this week and this week. We're up. So in that last week, we did good, and that tends to be what we're doing week on week. Is we're trying to aim to up the average, but realistically, if you can incrementally move forward and keep that flow going of maintaining the week before, you're doing well enough. Because that's the main goal, is the consistency is what makes this work, rather than sort of magical one day of the month, last end of the month improvements. They don't move this enough. They'll certainly produce a spike, but they won't pull it enough because it's averaging back over a consistency. So we're a good bit up on our targets there from week on week, and that's for the current week. Are we up or down on our targets? And then that was the previous week. So we can see that we've done a good bit better on those. Just the efficiency had been down previously. And we're off the target. So we're going up our efficiency, but we're still off the target of where we wanted to be. So that just gives us an idea. And this is the idea of what the colours are for the quality, of just on average, what does an OEE score mean. And it is expected that a lot of people are down in these areas, potentially even below 70, because it is hard to do maintaining that quality, and reaching some of these top ones there's a real extra level of efficiency that needs to happen above the individual's input, above the individual equipment. It is a collaboration, and it's lining things up in front of people. So it's a consistency, and it's a sort of well-rounded, getting around the whole team of how that works together. So what we've got here is we just record the 5-day weeks, 5 days a week in here, and then that rolls up automatically into weeks on here. So this has just got the same numbers, but we're only seeing week on week, and that's what we review back. We only look at the weeks. We don't look at the days. It's only if we want to dial into, okay, why were these 2 weeks off? Was there a specific reason? Is it something we can look at improving and pushing up? And that's our little guide, and then where we put into programs. So, for example, the 2 programs we've put in is one, a checklist of preparations for helping our partners work with us on change requests and getting those done faster, so we aren't waiting on feedback and we can get through those changes faster, and because obviously they're coming into our process. And the other one was to do with how we broke down to raise our efficiency. The program we've got for this quarter is to keep breaking the task down into smaller tasks and smaller manageable pieces, so that those stories are able to be achieved and knocked out of the park, one by one, but keeping that flow going, rather than say a big task it's a task for the whole week. You're just going to keep working on it. It might be worth, so I meant to say but earlier, is a task might be worth more than one story point. So if you're working on a task and it's going to take you half the day, it might be worth 2 or 3 points. It's not 1 point is one task, but generally speaking, we want to aim for more of that, because if you're working on a whole task for a week and that task was worth, say, 10 points or something, well, you're not going to be recording value for those until you deliver it. So you're going to get one day on your Thursday or Friday 10 points, and all the other days you'll have 0. So you're going to knock yourself out, and also it's harder to feel that you're consistently making value, you're consistently delivering, because it's not there. So these are all things that we've found bring back to the performance and bring back that understanding as to where we were, and coming back full circle as to where we want to do to hit these targets and raise ourselves towards world-class performance. So thank you for joining us, and if you'd like a copy of this or to ask me any more about how we work with OEE in the digital agency here at Holdingbay, then feel free to get in touch on holdingbay.co.uk or reach out to me personally. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.